So now that we have finished the video series with our online CPO course, we are going to move on to how to access the Zoom class and the exam website and software that will be used to take your CPO exam. A few days before the exam, maybe even the day before the exam, you're going to get an email from Pool Training Academy that looks very similar, if not identical, to the email that you see in front of you right now. It's going to house all of the information that you're going to need to be successful in accessing the Zoom meeting, as well as using Testrac. Testrac is the software that the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance has chosen to use for proctoring and performing our exams online. So first, let's walk through our Zoom meeting. When you open this email, you're going to see at the top here, this section right here is all about the Zoom meeting. You'll notice that we've got our topic, we've got our time. Now make sure that you're watching for the proper time zone. We have all of our dates in Mountain Standard Time, so plan accordingly in your state, region, or time zone. It will give you the meeting ID number. It will also give you the password to get into the class. We put this password in so we don't have any creepers or weirdos getting into the class with us. And you'll notice that if you get in before 9 a.m., you might get a waiting room message. That means that simply the class has not opened yet, but once it does, you will be entered into the meeting as it opens. Now, if you need to figure out how to access and use Zoom in general, follow our link back over to our main page. Scroll down to the bottom of that page on the, not the main page, the online page. Scroll down to the bottom and you will see a video tutorial on how to access Zoom. Now, keep in mind, if you do not have a Zoom account, that's not a problem. You can either set one up or you can use it as a guest. Another thing to keep in mind as well, if you don't have a camera on your computer, that's all right. If you have a cell phone, you can actually download the Zoom app and enter into the meeting on your cell phone or even your tablet if you would like. Please also note that we are required by the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance to be able to both see and hear you during the entirety of the Zoom meeting, so we can make sure that there is no funny business going on during the test. They don't want anybody helping you out or giving you any guidance, anything like that. We need to be able to use Zoom to make sure that everything is as above board as possible. So now that you know about Zoom, let's talk about Testrac. You're going to find all your Testrac information in this second part of the email. Now, like it says here, if you need a refresher on how to access Testrac, you're going to click over to this and it's going to send you right back to this exact video. Once you've remembered how to do it and learned how to do it, you're going to click on this link right here. This is going to send you over to the Testrac website. So let's go ahead and click and see what happens. Notice how it's opened a new tab in my browser, and I've got this page in front of me. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to hit recover password via email. We don't need to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to click sign in. Now a window's going to pop up here and you're going to see a few different things that you'll need. You'll need your logon ID and you'll need your password. Those have both been provided for you in the email. So go ahead and access that email again, scroll down, and you'll see that you have your ID and your password right here. So go ahead and highlight that ID. And once you have it highlighted, I want you to copy it. There's a couple of different ways to copy that ID. You can go up into the search bar here and click, the toolbar and click edit. And then when you go to edit, you're going to see that copy is an option that is clickable. So you can click it and it will copy that ID, or you can hit Command, and as you're holding down Command, you press the C button on your keyboard, and that will also copy it. So I click here, and it's copied. Now I'm going to go back over to my Testrac, and I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to go back up to my edit, and I'm going to click paste. So that pastes it in right there. Then I'm going to go back and do the exact same thing with my password. So I'm going to highlight it, go up to edit, hit copy, go back over to Testrac, click in my password, click edit, and paste. Now I've got my logon ID and my password all plugged in. Now, the other thing that you want to make sure that you do is tick this box that says, I accept these terms and conditions. If you don't click that, it will tell you that there's an error and it won't let you sign in. So make sure that you've got your login and your password filled in, and then you click, I accept these terms and conditions, and then simply click sign in. Now, it will bring you into your dashboard. Now, your dashboard has a lot of different drop-down menus. Notice how I click on this and it drops closed and then falls back open, so on and so forth. These are going to be the descriptions of what each one of those drop-downs is and what it does. So what you're going to do is when you see assigned to me open, if it's not open, you can go ahead and click it open, just like I've been doing. And you're going to see that you have a bunch of different choices. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to do is make sure that you're clicking on the right exam. There's a lot of different exams on here, so make sure that you're keeping them as straight as possible. The ones that we're going to be choosing are going to be either CPO English Imperial, CPO Spanish Imperial, or if you're in the state of South Carolina, you're going to choose the CPO South Carolina English Imperial, or you're going to choose the CPO South Carolina Spanish Imperial. Those are the ones that you're going to want to choose. You have those 4 options. Don't choose any of the other options on here, otherwise it's going to cause you to get a little bit buggy. So for this example, I'm going to choose the very one at the top, which is CPO English Imperial. I'm going to click on it. And once I click on it, you'll see that it gives me this please confirm pop-up window. Now on this pop-up window, it's going to say you're about to start your exam. You're not actually about to start your exam because you still have to fill out your voucher information. So don't stress too much. Instead, just click yes. And now your payment window opens up. Notice how you have all of your different explanations as to each one of these. It by default has a credit card payment, but we're not going to be paying with our credit cards. Instead, we're going to be using a voucher. So what you're going to do is you're going to click that voucher only. Now notice it's a little bit different because it took away our credit card information and instead just gave us a voucher box. Don't worry about this purchase exam now, but start later. That's nothing that concerns you, so you can just disregard that. But we do need a voucher in order to get into our test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to my email. And as you can see, right below your logon ID and your password, we've also provided you with this voucher. Now, I'm going to highlight the voucher. I'm going to go up. I'm going to click Edit. I'm going to click Copy. Then I'm going to go back over. I'm going to put my cursor in, and I'm going to click in the voucher box. Notice how it's blue and highlighted. Now I go back up to Edit. I go down to Paste, and I click Paste. And now I've got my voucher pasted in there. All I'm going to do now is click Purchase. Once you click Purchase, the test has begun. Now you'll notice I'm on my first question. There's a few things to note on this page. First, this X logs you out of your test. If you want to go out or you're having technical issues and you need to log out, this is where you're going to do that. Next, you'll also see you have a timer. Our tests are 3 hours in time length. So that means that you have 3 hours to complete this test. Next, it gives you a few different prompts as far as directions and instructions go. And then in this top box, I see my first question. Right below that, I have 4 different options. I am going to choose the option that is correct. And then I'm going to click this next button. Now, let's say I'm not quite sure what the answer is to this question. Well, what I'm going to do is I am going to click what I think is my best guess. Let's say I'm going to do pH lock, though I'm not completely sure about this answer. So since I'm not absolutely sure, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click Mark Item for later review. Mark Item for later review. Then I'm going to click Next. It takes me to my next question. There are 50 total questions in the test. You need to get 37 of them correct. Also keep in mind that these are not going to be in the exact same order as you see here on the screen. Every single one of them is randomized. So that also prevents any sort of potential cheating that could go on. Now, one thing that you'll notice here before we move on is if I want to, I can click all 4 of these. The problem if you do that is it actually throws the answer out completely. So make sure that you are only clicking one single answer on your list. So let's say I'll answer this one and say, maybe it's water is tinted blue. I don't know. I'm going to mark this one for review also because I don't know. And then I'm going to click Next. And you're going to continue doing this. If you know the answer, don't click Mark Item for Review. Just click the answer and then move forward. Now, let's say I want to go back and I'm like, I'm not super confident in that answer. I can actually go back after I answer this question, and it will allow me to go back to the next question. Keep in mind, as you saw that prompt that came up on the screen, it will tell you what needs to happen before you can make your next move. So now that I have gone back, I can re-answer this question and then move forward again. I'll answer this, and then I'll move on to the next one, so on and so forth over all 50 questions. Now let's go ahead and go through and answer all 50 of our test questions. Okay, so now I've gotten through the entire test. I'm on my 50th question, and I'm going to say, I don't know the answer to this one. So maybe I'm going to choose that, and then I'll click Mark Item for later review. Now notice, since I'm on the 50th question here, I don't have a next button. All I have is review and complete. So I'm going to click Review and Complete. It says, do you really want to proceed to the review section? And you're going to say, yes, I do, because I want to go over those questions that I marked for review. Now, notice here that you're going to see all of your questions, and it's going to have displayed to you, marked by you, and answer provided. Then it's going to give you the next, and you can go back, and if you want to, you can click on these ones that you have marked for review all the way down the list. Once you go back and do that, you're going to click Complete the Exam. So I'm going to take a little bit to go back and mark those ones that I've reviewed. Now notice I've gone back and I've answered all of the questions. Notice also that I have not had any others marked. So that means that I'm ready to complete this exam. I'm going to go on and click Complete the Exam. Remember, once you click Complete the Exam, there's no turning back. This is your final button. So hopefully you've answered all these questions as satisfactory as you can. So it's going to pop up and it is going to show you what your score is. It's going to give you your name, your email address, your logon ID, and then it's going to show you what test you took, how many times you've attempted to take the test, when it was taken, a reference number, your score, and it's going to show you what your required pass score is. It will tell you your outcome here. If you got below 74, it will say failed. If you got above 74, it will say pass. So then it will give you this note, and it will tell you right here that your results are below, and you should expect to receive a link to your certificate within 2 to 4 weeks. That email will come not from us at Pool Training Academy, but it will come from phta.org. So make sure that you check your spam folder every once in a while because it might be sent to your spam folder. Another thing to keep in mind is after this process, once you've seen this screen, all of the processing is in the hands of the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance, i.e. the PTA. So if you have any issues with getting your certificate, if it takes too long, if there's a misprint, something like that, make sure that you contact them at this number on your screen. That's the contact that you're going to need in order to get those questions answered. Now, if you want to, you can scroll down a little further and it will actually show you where you did well on the test and where you might need a little bit of improvement. Now, obviously, the test is already done, so if you've passed, this is just good for food for thought of sorts, so you can go back in the book and read over those sections if you want to improve more. If you failed, it will give you the areas that you need to study more. That's a great, great tool. So if you want to, then you can print this out, and it will allow you to hold on to that. I recommend, if you can, to print or save a copy of this somehow in order to show a health official that you are officially passed. If you want to, you can try to click this send button, but you'll notice it goes nowhere. So the send button doesn't necessarily do anything. If you want to also, you can take a screenshot of this passing information to hold on to it until you get your actual certification via email. Outside of this, you're pretty much done. You can click closed, and you can log out, and you can go about your business. Thanks for taking the time to watch this tutorial on how to use Zoom and Testrac. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask during your Zoom meeting or email your instructor before the day of the exam, and we will help get you taken care of. Best of luck out there, and we'll see you during the exam.